Hey, Eric, Next Gen Performance here. Part 3 of this C2 or 64 Corvette project update. So I'm going to kind of just show you where we're at and what we got done. And here we go. All right, so last video we left you off. We tore everything all apart, kind of got everything stripped down, and since then I sent out the control arms, uppers, lowers, got those powder coated. I pressed in Ride Tech Delrin bushings. I put that Ride Tech street grip sway bar on. Put the Ride Tech coil springs and shocks in there. And I pulled the spindles all apart, painted all the spindles and all the brackets and the backing plates. And then a couple of these studs were loose, so I actually drilled these out and went from 7/16 to 1/2 inch wheel studs. And I put new bearings in them all. And then I also tapped these holes are to hold the rivet, to hold the rotor on. It has rivets on them and you can drill the rivets out. So I drilled and tapped these for countersunk bolts to hold the rivet on, to hold the rotor on. So, so you don't have to drill rivets out every time you want to change rotors. So we got the front end all together. I kind of painted the frame up a little bit. And then you come in here. I put a coat of paint on the frame. Got the new radiator fitted. I had to make this fan shroud because the dual fan setup for this radiator hit the control arms. So I converted it to a big 16-inch single fan instead. And I made this shroud and put some dimple dies and stuff in it. Cut the shaft on the steering column to fit this box. But problem we ran into was this frame is actually a C3 Corvette frame, which we found out later on, which is not a big deal. It's different mounts and somebody welded the C2 mounts on it, but the problem is the frame horns are different. So, what I did was I cut the frame horns off, which were kind of screwed up anyways, you know. And then they had these pieces of angle iron on there to line up the bumpers, because the frame horns are different and fit the bumpers differently from C2 to C3. But so anyways, I got these two pieces here, this piece and this inner piece, and I cut it off here, and then I welded these new frame horns on, which provide you with all the mounting brackets, which not all the mounting brackets, like this bracket wasn't on there. And then it didn't have the lower, I gotta put the lower brackets on the bumper still, and then the core support, so I put this core support here. The radiator core support this is the old one, and it's kinda some rust in it. And they welded these brackets on here. And then these holes to mount the radiator kind of rotted out. So we put a new one of them in. Put a new one of those in to fix that problem. And then we kind of put a nice coat of black underneath it. Just undercoated it because it was crappy looking with all the flaking paint under there. Let me go down with it. So I got this is the new core support, new radiator in there. This is the AC condenser because this thing's getting vintage air. You can see the frame. I put a coat of paint on the frame where you can see it, where I could get it. That's the new steering box. But so inside here I got the wiring kind of ripped out right now to fit everything. I got the Dakota digital gauges kind of mocked up in there. And then the ECU, I'm trying to find a place to mount that. And then if you come around this other side, I took the old heater box out, and then the new, you see the new heater box there under the dash, the vintage air heater box. I got that mocked up. So I'm getting ready to do all that. So all these fit in the radiator and the steering box and the AC and all that stuff is got to be, well, it's easier to do it now before you put the engine in. So once you put the engine in, it'll look like a lot has been done. And I'll show you one other thing here. I got this steering column pulled apart, so the steering shaft on the C2, because the C3 frame, the C2 shaft was too long, so I cut this and put it in the lathe, turned this piece down and press fit it into the shaft and welded it back together to take, 2 inches out of the steering shaft. And then and then right now we'll go in here and I'll show you what else we got. Got the, this is the steering column all in pieces. This is the, so I got it all sandblasted. I'm gonna paint all that, put that steering column back together and put that in. But that's where we're at on this 64 Corvette Pro Tour project. Hopefully on episode 4 we'll have the new LS3 crate motor in there. So stay tuned, like, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment if you got any questions.